Some more disinformation from the mainstream media today. We have a host boldly claiming that every single person that we get into this country, illegal or legal, are all vetted migrants. Okay, I'm going to break down exactly how that is 100% categorically false in the most articulated way I can, so nobody can make any judgment, and actually prove to you all how there is no background checks on a lot of people coming into this country.
About fanatic Muslims coming in, and that's when kind of Natasha kind of jumped in at me, and I was saying that people, I think Izzy had mentioned that there was Muslims coming from different countries that were gay as well. So I was saying, you had said that you had seen the worst kind that was abusing you, and I didn't get my point across that really, fanatic Muslims, they don't allow people to be gay, and they probably would, do more than call you names.
Now, let's just get this back also, because just for some people, they would think that some of that is dog whistling and saying something like unvetted, and that's not proven to be true, because everyone is vetted when they come into the country, because you have to actually put your name down when you are an immigrant. When you come into the country, you have to actually come through a port. So
apart from her good looks, this bimbo here that basically says that everybody is vetted into the country is 100% categorically false. She says that everybody is vetted 100% without fail, right? Now, I used to watch Ireland AM growing up, along with every single person in Ireland watches this show. She really quickly glossed over that point that she was trying to make. Really quickly, she said that, everyone's vetted, everyone's vetted. So first and foremost, this is an interview from the show Dinner with the Enemy, where basically they take a whole group of people, 10 different people, I believe, with vastly different backgrounds, left-wing, right-wing, communist, Marxist, some people more right-leaning than others, and they put them against each other at this table, and they have their different say on different topics in Ireland, okay? Specifically immigration, Donald Trump, things like that, guys, abortion, these different topics. I'm sure a lot of people have actually watched that show. Now, the presenters here, obviously, we have a man on the left who everyone knows is a gay man, okay? He's a nice guy, Hugh Allen, I believe his name is, and he's been on the show for decades, right? It seems like a kind of an okay guy. Not really sure his political view. I'm sure he's left-leaning, okay? You pretty much have to be left-leaning to be on this show, okay? To be on Ireland AM or any sort of like morning show, you have to be more left-leaning, clearly, okay? But one of the participants in the show, this lady here, she basically says that fanatical people in the Middle East will throw you off buildings and hurt you, kill you, if you're a part of the LGTB community. And she's 100% correct, okay? That's not to say that these people are 100% intolerant. Obviously, there's tolerant countries in the Middle East, Dubai, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. You have a lot of places, Kuwait. You have a lot of nice places in the Middle East, right? These places aren't going to throw you off a building if you're something different, okay, sexually. But absolutely, places like Iraq, Afghanistan, these countries in the Middle East, absolutely most of these places, it is completely haram to be any of these things, and that's just their religion. To be perfectly honest, guys, Christianity, has gone very lenient in the last couple of years. We have pride marches every single month, it seems like, and I'm not against that, but why don't we have a family month? Why don't we have a straight man month? Why can't we have other months? If they get a full month, like, how do our veterans only get one day? How do we have like a one day to remember the Irish soldiers that fought for the freedom of the state? That's one day. We have St. Patrick's Day, that's one day. But Pride Month is a whole month. It's just like bizarre stuff, guys. And, she says a really good point. She says a great talking point there, that these countries are not tolerant. Places in Africa do the same, okay? She's talking about the Middle East. Maybe she has something with Middle Easterners, but places in Latin America, most places in Latin America, most places in Pakistan, India, most places in Africa, most places in the Middle East, most places in the Far East, they look down upon people that are LGTB. Maybe they don't kill you or hang you, but they absolutely look down upon these people. They spit at them. They look at them as less than. So she's 100% correct in her statement. Now, what happens is the blonde lady here on the right, she says that's actually false. Some people may find that as dog whistling and saying stuff like unvetted migrants aren't checked when they come in. Their name is written down when they come in, which means nothing. That's not a background check. Let me just articulate this to the entire of the Irish public, so I never have to say this once and for all. When you come to Ireland as an undocumented male or female, whatever the case may be, family, okay, there are most of the time background background checks, okay? If you're coming from countries with, Brazil, if you're coming from the Middle East, the UAE, if you're coming from Nigeria, okay, South Africa, most of these places have a somewhat of a background check. They can somewhat check you. I wouldn't say it's fully, as good as coming from somewhere like, I don't know, Japan or something, where they have a proper government and that kind of thing, right? There's obviously exceptions there, okay? Not every country, but a lot of countries, 100% of the time, 100%, places like Afghanistan, Iraq, these places don't have governments, guys. Somalia, these places have no government. Do you really think that the Gardaí are liaising with the Taliban in Afghanistan? Hey, we have Abdul here. He just got here, lads. Like, what's the scale? What's the story? Could you give us a background check there on Abdul? That's not happening, lads. That is 100% not happening. Hopefully, I articulated that well, okay? These places that people are coming from do not have governments, so the Gardaí are not able to talk with, liaison with, do background checks on people from, God knows, South Sudan. A lot of places in Africa have no government. A lot of places in the world have no government or sitting government that are going to be talking with places like these countries. Like, obviously, guys, they're coming from war-torn countries. You think in Syria they're going to give a background check? No, there's no background checks coming from people in Syria or Libya. Libya don't even have a government, guys. They had ISIS beheading people on the beach. They have, massive civil unrest, like civil wars in these countries. On what planet do you think the Gardaí or Interpol are doing background checks on somebody from Liberia or some of these really third world, less than third world, honestly, South Sudan? There's ISIS combatants murdering people en masse. There's no way that there's going to be flipping a background check, let alone running water. These places don't have telephones, let alone running water. Okay, so there is on a lot of people, a ton of people coming to Ireland, no background checks. Okay, hopefully I articulated that well. Once again, Jesus, I don't want to keep talking about that because this is like a retarded talking point that the mainstream media seem to harp on about. Everyone is background checked. Really? Well, let me ask you a question. Can you background check somebody from a country that doesn't have a government, let alone a police force, let alone running water or a flipping mobile, a flipping telephone? Like, they're just going to pick up the telephone. Hi, lads. Oh, yeah. We were expecting a phone call from you, from Somalia. One of our little man went over to you guys and, he's expected there in the next few months. They're coming from rubber dinghies and they're coming in boats from England. Like, they're not doing background checks on people. This is just stupid. I can't talk about this any longer. This is a complete lie that the mainstream media are fabricating to the nation. Jamaica just got washed out, guys. And Jamaica, some people are great people. Obviously, I know people from Jamaica. But the whole country's been destroyed by an F5 hurricane. You think that there are people are calling up the government? You think that the Irish consulate... Hi, lads. Bob Marley just arrived. Bob Marley Jr. just came to the shore. You think you can do a background check on Bob Marley Jr.? Like, no, guys, that's not happening. That is not happening. The government of Ireland is not liaising with any of these governments overseas. That is not happening. Maybe some places in Nigeria, they have government, South Africa. Like, there's places that are, like, good, rich places that have oil and, like, there's, like, a lot of things happening there. There's millionaires there. There are skyscrapers, in India. But places like Islamabad, they're not doing background checks on people coming from Islamabad. Like, come on, man. Stop with the bullshit to the Irish public. Stop with the bullshit to the public. This is nonsense. You see, and I don't blame Irish people. Irish people wouldn't know better. I'm very knowledgeable about military history. I'm very knowledgeable about the military, about the police, about law enforcement. I'm very knowledgeable about the border patrol. I know a lot about this stuff. And they don't, guys. They're just bullshitting. What does this blonde woman on the right know about border control? like, come on, lads. Like, this is just bullshit. Like, they haven't served in any sort of, capacity of the armed forces whatsoever. They haven't served in any sort of defense forces or Garda Síochána or flipping, patrol of the flipping of the ocean. No navy, nothing, guys, nothing. These people don't know. The RFNI, all these different, life board. Come on, guys, this is ridiculous. Here we have a great man with a great name, I must say so myself. Michael Collins, okay, a legendary name, speaks about immigration on The Week in Politics.
See, the whole issue here with immigration seems to be gone wrong from the word go, and I don't agree with what Deputy Coppins are saying, that Ireland isn't full. Ireland is full, and we can deny that, but if you deny that to me, you're not in touch with the people on the ground who are talking to us on a daily basis in Ireland of the concerns they have in their communities. And irregardless of anything, we need to have a deportation system in place. Irregardless if there's only one person that should be deported, they should be deported. It's the same in every other country in the world. Why should we be any different in Ireland? And it seems like parties to the left are continuously stifling debate, ordinary humane debate about this issue all along, and any time that anybody speaks there's roaring and shouting going on and injecting at a person that has a viewpoint that they're bringing forward from their own community. And this is the unfortunate situation. But Minister Harris, while I feel is 12 months late, is now open to debate. The government seems to be open to debate, and we certainly want debate in this issue because it warrants debate, and it's a very serious crisis in the country. And a lot of small communities are concerned about their hotels being closed, about their communities being, like, there isn't enough resources out there. And I
100% agree. You know, he says at the end there aren't enough resources out there. Absolutely. That's a great way to finish it. But the first and foremost thing that he said was, you know, we have to open up this debate. We have to open up this speaking now about there's too many people, Ireland is full, there's not enough resources for the people, there's not enough houses for our own people, 16,000 plus homeless people dying on the side of the road, and we're just letting people flood into the country. You know, they won't even allow a conversation on immigration. You know, that's how ridiculous they are, guys. They won't even allow a conversation on it. As soon as you bring up immigration, until very recently, they call you far right, racist, right wing. They try and discredit you in any way possible. You're a dole merchant, you're a scrounger, you're a scrote, you're fat, you're ugly, you're overweight. Like, they just try and discredit you in any way. The left wing will just call you massive. They'll ring up your flipping, you know, your employment, and they'll say this guy deserves to get fired. You know, just bizarre stuff through and through, guys. And it's like truly madness that they call you a conspiracy theorist, a right-wing conspiracy theorist, and very unfair. I find it very unfair we're not even allowed to have debates on these topics. You know, now, of course, because Simon Harris and Micheál Martin finally admitted that there are too many people here, now we're allowed to have open debates on these topics. And it is great to see, honestly. Thank God. Finally, guys. They're about 20 years too late, though. You know what I mean? And lastly, just to finish off, guys, we have Irish priests here. Father Brendan Kilcoyne has spoken strongly about the 10-year-old girl that was brutally sexually assaulted by the man that was given an unforced deportation order. So I talked about this en masse. I have like 5 videos talking about this, lads, but we know that there was a man here for 6 years, okay, from, they don't know where, from Africa somewhere, they said, that he kidnapped this girl from a Tusla accommodation. She was walking home, she was being truant, she was, you know, she had severe dyslexia and autism and disabilities, and of course this crackpot, this guy took advantage of her. He kidnapped her and he sexually assaulted her in the foyer, the entrance to the City West Hotel. The City West Hotel, which was bought by the Irish government from a private owner at 148 million euro. Literally setting somebody up for life. Like, unbelievable money paid for that hotel. We're talking about massive, massive accommodation. This place can house 2,000, 3,000 people, lads. Like, we're talking one of the biggest hotels, the biggest hotel in Ireland, one of the biggest hotels in Europe. Like, just a phenomenal piece of architecture, honestly. And now it's being given to IPAS residents. And a man that was staying there brutally assaulted a 10-year-old girl that should have been deported 8 months prior. He was here for 6 years plus. How it is so slow to issue these deportation orders. It should be done within a week. Trials, okay? Quick trials done within a week. I would say 24 hours. As soon as you get here, you're put into handcuffs. Who are you? Where are you from? I have no passport. I have no passport. You know, some degenerate guy, all right? Well, then you're put into a flipping holding cell. You're put into prison before you go any further. Okay, in my country, guys, if you come to the country without documentation, first of all, you're flown out of the country straight away. But if you have a claim that you want to stay here, well, you're put into prison first and foremost, okay? You're guilty until proven innocent, okay? 100%, right? You're guilty, you're put in prison, and then we're going to have a trial with you within the week. We'll feed you some McDonald's, whatever. We'll keep you alive, okay? Because you're obviously fleeing war. I wouldn't keep these people in the best conditions, but they're fleeing war, so we give them a little food. And then we put them to trial. Okay, you're allowed to stay here. You're a good guy. You're a brain surgeon from the Philippines. Okay. All right, then we process you. We see how you're doing. We monitor you. We have you on a probation service. You know, and that's a couple hundred people that are coming into the country. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people coming into the country unvetted. Like, we're talking about a mass invasion of people. That's what it is, guys. And to be truth be told, guys, it is the most terrifying thing to the Irish public in 2025. You know, there's no bigger topic. A lot of people want to talk about topics from 5 years ago. A lot of people want to talk about things from years and years ago. No. All that stuff is bullshit. The number one topic that people should be talking about in this country, if you're more right-leaning, more conservative, is the mass, illegal, unwanted, unvetted immigration into the country. It's an invasion, guys, and it's happening in real time.
My ancestors starved on the side of the same rock in Mayo for centuries so that I could meddle in affairs of state. I'm a citizen of this country, Irish born and bred, and I'll meddle where I like. Yeah? And the church absolutely has something to say about this, because good government and sound socio-political practices and situations are mandated by our Christian religion, by our Catholic faith. Yeah? And we have a duty to contribute to the good of our society. Yes. And our society is not being handled healthily or well. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if I'm digging at people who are doing their best. It's an awful thing to say, because you're talking about people who are probably sincere, but their best isn't good enough. And
I like that. I like that. That's a really powerful phrase. Your best isn't good enough. You know, people coming here, I have no issues with any immigrants. Everyone is fine. I talk to everybody. You know, when you don't have much, guys, I'm not a rich guy. You know, you talk to Indian, you talk to Pakistani, I love everybody. You talk to African, Middle Eastern. The rich people, they don't talk to anybody. They don't talk to any immigrants. You know, the rich, they get away. They're living in the flipping ivory tower. You know, they're away somewhere else, right? But when you're like me, guys, just a regular Joe Soap from flipping Ireland or whatever, you know, we have to talk and liaison with all these different people in public, okay? But when you're talking about a mass illegal immigration invasion now, that's when it becomes too much. The numbers are too much, guys. I talk about this all the time. It's not about where you're from per se, okay? Obviously, you want to have a country mostly Irish, right? I mean, that's kind of a given, right? But, you know, I mean, that's now taboo to say that, but you kind of, or at least Irish culture, right? You do want to kind of an enclosed place, but, you know, these mass amounts of people, the numbers are just crazy, because the whole society has changed. You know, the whole society is different, and nobody wants to speak up about it. Like me and like 100 other people in the country, maybe there's a few thousand now on the internet talking about it. In actual numbers, there's like 200,000 plus people, probably 500,000 people that actually know about this and speak about this, but they can't speak about it because they'll lose their job. You know, they're working in some big job, you know, some big tech job, Google, Amazon. They can't talk about this. They'll get flipping fired the next day. Their best isn't good enough. I love that. You know, you may be a great person coming over from wherever, but it's not good enough, guys. You know, we have to take care of our own first. Understandably so.
We have a huge problem. Now, before I finish, let me say something else. That girl was raped. That 10-year-old girl was raped. My church has its own skeletons in the cupboard when it comes to the abuse of children. And I'm not denying that. I'm sitting here in the shreds of our moral credibility.
Wow.
Yeah? But I have to keep preaching the gospel even in a situation of disgrace and general disillusionment with the church. And I have to say this straight out. We are not investing in a healthy society with the way we are going. We are only thinking a few steps ahead all the time. It's time for statesmanship. It's time to look much further ahead. But will we do it? You know, they say in the Vatican, pensiamo in secoli, we think in centuries. We seem to think in 4 yearly cycles until the next election.
Yeah.
I think something much more impressive is required. Think about it. We don't want any more of this. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy...
Amen, Father. Amen. It's just crazy stuff that, you know, we have priests now that know about this stuff. Like, we're talking about people that should be focusing on God and spirituality and religion. Even they're now speaking out about it. Like, when is enough, guys? We're talking about crazy crackpot people that could be trained by, like I said, ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, crazy crackpot people that want to destroy our way of life in the West. and we're just letting them flood into the country, potentially. Oh yeah, this guy's grand. There's no vetting. Some people are great. Like you said, we're talking about legal immigration and illegal. Legal, we need to chill out on the numbers, tone down the numbers. That's one thing. People that are competent, good at business, good at flipping IT, that kind of thing. But then when it comes to illegal, that should be just completely 100% off the table right now when we don't have enough for our own people. Disgusting. I love you all. Great speech by Father Brendan Kilcoyne. Amen, Father. Okay, God bless you as well. I love you all. I mean, God bless that guy. It's amazing to see the way he speaks. Powerful speaker. I think he has his own podcast. I wonder, does he do collabs? Guys, I'd love to collab with him, okay? I love you guys all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for just €3 per month. Can help support me so I can help support you guys push back against the mainstream media. The mainstream media is dead, okay? The Irish government is tyrannical, and we're going to stay pushing every single day. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.